Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Super Mario World No Cape, No Star World Tournament. My name's Wade Carrick, and I've got my good buddy Super D here with me. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Carrick. I'm excited to see this first race here. This is going to be a real, as they'd say, slobber knocker.
Is that what they call that? Jesus.
Man, you need to watch more WWF.
Yeah, we definitely got a pretty hot race here cooked up for y'all today. On the left-hand side, we got Umari0 going up against Louie. So this is going to be a really good race. Me and Super D were just talking in the other room about how far we think this is going to be synced up. I mean, just on paper, these guys should be synced up for a very long time. So I'm excited to check this out.
Yeah, we're betting on at least the first 10 to 20 minutes. We'll see how our predictions go.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it went that far. That's how I'll phrase it.
Oh man, I leave it all out on the table. I'm calling it now.
Calling it now. It's brave shots for. Just looking at their PBs here, Louis has a 34-37 that he got 2 years ago, going up against Umar, who has a 34-59 that he got 1 year ago. But the real stat that I like checking out is what they've been doing during this tournament. What are they doing lately? What do their runs look like? This has been, last week was Umar's bye week. He was able to get into round 2 without having to play in for it. So he didn't do any last week. Louis got an automatic win, so he didn't do anything last week. So let's go back to the group stages and check them out. Where Louis, typically a really top runner, did throw down a good high 35 time up against Fog Dude. Then he ended up losing to Dabs with a high 36 run. But then if you look down at Umar, I mean, we're talking low 35, and then almost 38. So who knows? This is going to be up in the air.
Well, anything can happen in SMW, but with two machines built like this, Bruss doesn't, there's only so much of an effect.
I'm going to go ahead and give these guys the green light so they can get started here shortly. You guys make sure to throw some good lucks in chat for them. You can see they've been practicing with those 31s on their file. It's typically what you come out of No Cape, No Star World with.
No, two runners like this, you can get away with sleeping on some of the people in the early brackets of the tournament. There's no way that they're not going into this full on game mode right now.
Yeah, dude. Once you hit final stage, like everyone's just going balls to the wall on this. Yeah, like you said, group stages. Sometimes you can kind of get away with maybe not that much practice. You hit stuff like this, you better bring your A game. And these are two runners who always do.
Louis already coming in hot with the disco fever.
He's a few pixels above the ground. It's not the tightest disco jump I've seen. Alright, going through this Yoshi's Island, this is just where these guys get accustomed to their jumps. I mean, this first world's typically a breeze, so we should see these guys synced up all the way to at least Iggy's Castle. Oof, beautiful sync from the restreamer there.
And we got a 360 on both sides. Very nice.
Man, I really should have looked at what their start times were when they were getting into this. I'm curious why Umar has a lead after only one level, in which they both finished with a 360.
Do you think that's them, or do you think that's the restream?
No, it would be on them. It's so in this game, what you typically do whenever you start a run, we always hit one player game, and the timer starts at minus 2.2. However, whenever we have to use SRL, which it's any SMW's worst nightmare to use SRL, they start at 0. So some runners move their timer to 0 to just kind of be like SRL whenever they're doing tournaments. But then it kind of screws things up, because then you have a runner who's doing minus 2.2 versus a runner who's doing 0. So do you sync the timers? Can you sync the gameplay?
Well, we'll see what happens.
So-
So far, both runners are just textbook right now. So
Yeah, and it's not even like a 2.2 second difference. This is why I'm so confused. It's like a second, maybe a little more than a second. So like no setup adds up in my head. I'm very confused. But I mean, their gameplay's synced up. I mean, they're looking good, right?
yep, first 3 stages of Yoshi Island, just blink and they're gone.
Oh, Louis just told me in the race room that he started his timer 1 second late on accident. So that's what it is. That makes so much more sense. I was wondering why it was like a second. I was gonna like stay up all night, like hanging yarn from Polaroids on a cork board trying to figure that out.
I mean, don't not do that. We all know that Big Farm is involved with this somehow.
I gotta use the Polaroid. The film's gonna expire soon. Oh, they're duking it out. Oh, they're duking it out. I always love it when I see the Marios fighting each other on screen. Let's see what kind of poses they take here after Iggy. Oh, looking right at each other. You can feel it.
Oh. This is like Romulus and Remus.
Those buddies of yours or something?
Yeah, I know them from back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah.
Their mom was a real dog.
Alright, we got these guys out of Yoshi's Island. They're gonna be heading into Donut Plains.
Hopefully this won't give them any donut pains, if you know what I mean.
Boo! Get that pun out of here. How do you ban people from a Discord, y'all?
You can't, unlike coronavirus, I'm here to say. Important to keep in mind with donut plains is that if any of these runners should accidentally pick up a cape, they will have to take a death.
Yep. It's. I think that's a fair punishment.
Sometimes you need the death penalty in a crime against fashion like that.
I think the cape is totes adorbs. It's high fashion. You wouldn't understand, alright? Alright, swimming through this donut secret one. These guys are really just trying to find an item to grab so they can go faster. Typically in a cape run, they're going to go up into the dry room to grab a shell early and move on, but these guys just have to swim until they hit the grab blocks up here.
It's almost like sometimes the rules are made to punish the viewers and not the runners.
Sometimes, I tell you. Louis accidentally dropped in his switch there, but both of them coming out with a 239. The thing is, Louis is still, because we know that there's like a second discrepancy now, they are synced, pretty much. I mean, they've been getting the same times on pretty much every level now.
We really are going to have to, as they say, go to the film on this one afterwards to see who put the official time.
I hope not. Retiming after races is such a hassle.
So we have Louis making it out with the 280, Umari0 out with the 279. These runners are still neck and neck.
Yeah, they must have just been frames on either side of that second change. Oh, let's see how they do Donut Plains 3. This is a really tough level. Let's see if they both take the damage and get small Mario, or if they're just going to try to go fire all the way. Both of them taking the fire strat. Interesting.
With runners like these, the meatballs got to be spicy, you know what I mean?
Spicy. Great job. Wow. This is a really good donut plan 3 right there. So moving on to donut planes 4. These guys got Yoshi in mind. They're going to be doing their best to just get there as fast as they can. Watch how they deal with the Hammer Bro differently here. Louie's going to be throwing a shell and jumping off of it as it bounces off that wall. Umar took a slightly less visually pleasing way of doing it, but, you know, whatever. I'm not going to hold it against him, right?
There's a reason they're running and we're commentating.
Another big difference is you'll see Louis be on the ground. He's going to pick up a extra flower there while Umar brought a blue shell with him. So he can feed that Yoshi, get some wings, and fly up above the level. Gotta make the stipulation that this is not a no-flight category. This is a no-cape category. A good ETA for this with 2 runners of this caliber. So most people, I would say like 38 to 40 minutes if I'm being honest and looking at the numbers. But these guys I could see anywhere from a low 35 to a 37.
Easy, easy.
Yeah. And 37 might be pushing it. Like, things would really have to go bad for these 2 guys because they're both really good runners.
Now, I think, sync malarkey aside, I think Umari0 is just slightly a few frames behind Louis at this point.
Yeah, he's just a bit. But this is a cycle-based level, so nothing's going to change in this room. I mean, hell, that's not much of a difference at all, is it?
Not at all. Really, at this point, the smallest mistake by either runner could really make a difference in the outcome of the race.
Man, that's what we've really noticed in these final stages. That's why, ooh, Louis slipping. Who's hitting the door first? Umar was slipping too. Louis came out on top, hitting that door just a little bit better. Because that's the only part that matters, you know? Is that very last second when you can break out of the cycle and just get as fast to that door as you can. Just that little, what should be 2.5 second portion of the room. Once again, the stare down after the bosses.
The good old Mario Brothers Urban Renewal Project.
Yep, they are cleaning up downtown right now. Put in some nice condos right there for young professionals.
That's okay. I don't think Koopa's kid should be able to own real estate.
Alright, and coming up on the 10-minute mark, you were saying about 10 minutes in, these guys would still be super close. And you're right about that. Let's see how far they can take this. Using that blue shell, they're going to get up to the secret exit to grab that key. It's a great use of Yoshi. And you don't have to throw him in a pit. He's actually helpful for once.
Don't have to or don't get to?
Yeah, you don't get to, then let's be honest. As they say, Yoshi's a tool, not a jewel. But they are going to get rid of him here. Just drop him back down to the first floor. We'll meet you later. Pull the car around. Both of them doing a good job on those green beans. It's a really weird section where sometimes the camera doesn't follow you up and the right side green bean doesn't spawn and things can just get weird. So really good on them. Now they're up top, going into Vanilla Secret 2. This is a pretty tight level. They're going to grab themselves a Yoshi and then just bounce on as many of these Koopas as they can. Because if you see, there's a lot of enemies. So you can't really run on the ground. It's really hard to manage those. So you just try to stay up in the air above it all.
Oh, Louis taking damage, dropping Yoshi briefly.
Yeah, that almost went straight in the pit where Yoshis belong. They're even closer now. Watch them use this shell to get rid of a Chuck that's going to be up here. Typically problematic. But not when you got a weapon on you. Don't bring footballs to a shell fight.
That's what my grandpappy always told me.
Every day. Every day he'd sit us down with a nice ham and cheese sandwich. He'd say, boys, you don't bring a shell to a... You don't bring a football to a shell fight. He got confused a lot. Not me. Looks like Umar took a little dip in that water. Not really what you want to do, but not a big time loss. While Louis grabs himself a little bit of Yoshi food.
As everyone knows, dolphin is the finest form of sashimi.
Yeah, that's the other white meat. The other white meat. Alright, going through this fortress. We're just gonna be swimming slow. There's no items here. Up until recently, where I kind of calm cursed someone, I would always say that this is super easy. Like, you're never really in any danger of getting hit. But ever since I started saying that, people are just getting hit by this, fish at the very end of the room. Like, back and forth. I keep seeing it now. This fish right here that they go under. I see so many people hitting that now that I said that this is free.
Well, when you're trying to move this fast for a game, you really can't sleep on anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Nice, you see one person's game feeding into the other. Now this Resnor fight is super tricky. So these guys want to get out of here with their flower for sure, because that's going to help them on Ludwig such a massive amount. Look at that, man. They are still just neck and neck coming out of Fortress.
I know, we can say it's a tricky fight, but then they just go ahead and do that and make us look like idiots.
Yeah, it's hard to call anything hard whenever these guys just show us up.
But now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages,
the finest level, the best level, scientifically proven to cause extreme euphoria in anyone who is able to be embraced by its beauty. Butterbridge 1. You guys throw out some big old pog champs in chat, because this is the finest level you will ever see. It's 30 years aged, dry aged. It's got nice marbling, you'll see.
no matter if you take your bridges clarified, salted, unsalted, reduced fat, whole cream.
It starts unsalted, but if you die in this, it gets salty real quick. Real quick. It jumps to a 10. Nice. Umar having some Koopas on the side. It's a good treat to have with your butter bridge. Highly recommended.
Still a mystery to this day why Miyamoto opted to keep the jelly tunnel out of the game. I think they probably just felt like they hit a peak with this level.
Yeah, they were actually going to make 100 levels. You know, there's 96 exits in this game. They were going to make 100. But as soon as they finished this, Miyamoto said, no, this is perfection. And he was right. Man, these guys are super close. We're not going to see any changes, really, in the standings in this level. They are coming to a close here soon, so you guys say your final goodbyes to Butterbridge 1. You guys are going to have to wait until the next race to see it again.
Does anyone else in their head just hear the graduation song by Vitamin C when it's time to leave this level?
I just get so choked up when they leave the level. And now they've hit Butterbridge 2. This is a pretty exciting level. A lot can go wrong in this, so I'm really trying to focus on both of them on this. Really, all they need to do is jump up and grab a blue shell, and then they're free. They can just fly to the end. But getting to that blue shell is super tough for a lot of runners.
Really, this bridge is more like the butter beneath their wings.
I'm telling you, we've talked... Oh my god, look. It is really like... It looked like one screen. They were really feeding into each other. I love it when that happens.
We're still a full 16 minutes in.
Yeah, these guys are using the same task file to play their run. This is a really sketchy castle. Watch as they do those scrolls to set up the ball and chains and where that bony beetle is gonna be. You really got to work hard at that room 1. Room 2 as well. Very difficult getting under these potaboos without splashing in the sketty. doing real good. They're not done yet, though. They've got to manage these cages. This can be really weird, because when you're jumping, you don't want to be holding your D-pad at all. But to grab it, you need to hit the D-pad. So they're just switching on, off, on, off, on, off. And nice, they have their fire flower, so we don't get to see a cycle skip. They'll just use 2 fireballs in 1 jump to get rid of Ludwig and move on to the Forest of Illusion.
And what an illusion it is. It's almost like watching the same screen on both sides of the stream.
Man, these guys are super, super close.
You know what always impresses me is that Yoshi hasn't even hatched yet and he can already speak English fluently.
They're really smart. They develop quickly, those Yoshi. But they have a thick eggshell. Very thick. Takes a while to break out. Yeah, they are born speaking perfect English. It's quite impressive.
And yet they always pick the one that can only say his name for any other appearance in Smash Brothers or what have you.
Yeah, you know Mario's sitting there, he's like, "Gay?" Let's go through Forest of Illusion 1. The ending of this has been tricky. We've seen lots of runners mess us up. There's a Hammer Bro at the end. Nice backup flower from both of them that's going to come in handy in Roy's Castle. Let's see if they grab themselves a shell. Louis has a shell for him. He's going to try to get over that Hammer Bros by using it, knocking him out and getting there. Umar doing what we typically see. Beautiful backup, though. Wow, that was very nice.
You'll notice we haven't really seen too many glitches, too many swagger moves in this run. With a race like this, with competitors so close, I don't think that we'll see any unnecessary risks taken at this point.
Now watch closely on Louis' screen. He's going for this first. He's going to dismount and remount Yoshi on the outside corner there, and it's going to pull both of them into that wall. It's what we call Yoshi clip, and it's the great decider in so many races. Umar going for a lefty, not getting it, much harder than a right-hand clip. He got kicked out again. Even if you do everything right, there's only a 75% chance of this working. It's based on Yoshi's Y subpixel, so things can get funky. Umar was able to get it on 4th attempt, left-hand clip. Swimming really low, though.
But Louis did it so fast on the first try, we didn't even have time to talk about it. I mean, that could make a huge difference in the standing of this race.
This is a massive difference. This is a massive difference now. That's definitely not something Umar wanted to happen. It's not what anyone wants to happen, is kind of losing the run to a pseudo RNG type trick like that. There is skill involved, don't get me wrong, but even if you do everything right, there's still a chance you get kicked out. And it's just like, that's... Ugh. Louis might be going for a wall clip here, so keep your... No, he's going straight for the spring. He's not even going to mess with that wall jump. So you just need to get up into the pipe that Louis is coming up on. Then they're going to grab themselves a key to move on to Roy's Castle, and you guys can see what the 2 fire flowers are for. Alright, Louis now in Roy's Castle, where we just have to watch him ride this bus for like 30 seconds. I wish I had something exciting to tell y'all right now at the beginning of this castle, but there's literally nothing.
I like to call it the fudge snake.
It's weird that that never caught on. Now Louis doing that scroll there, so the Podoboo right here doesn't ride the bus with him. Did good. Now you're going to see him do a jump, lose a flower on purpose, grab that second flower, use the iframes on these spikes, and jump right before he's out of iframes. So he still has a flower to use on Roy. He got through there super quick. Umar's going to be coming up on his pretty soon while Louis entering the Roy fight. Once again, y'all, easy recipe. Just 2 fireballs in 1 jump. That's a come out with a hot Roya.
A Koopa Kid kill cake.
Now it's kind of a regional dish. I know that's what they call it in Boston. Yeah. Nice from Umar. They're both going to be heading into Chocolate Island next. And we're just going to crank up this heat little by little until we reach the end of this run. We're going to keep cranking that heat up. So this is the part of the run where it goes a little ham.
Well, nothing goes with chocolate like ham. Everyone knows that.
That's my favorite dish. That's the dish Super D's grandpa used to make us when he told us about the footballs and shells. He'd make us a nice ham and chocolate sandwich.
It was nice that they let him cook in the home.
Yeah. He should not have been around stoves.
Or children.
Going through Chocolate Island 1 now. You can see Louie doing this real well. This is a pretty tight level. It's really tough. Avoiding all those dinos is not easy.
As much as we all know this game as a competition of butter and dinosaurs, really it's a platformer, and this is one of those levels where we're reminded of that.
Ooh, I have not seen this in the tournament yet. Umar taking damage to the chuck you're supposed to bounce off of. He came in just like a pixel too low or something. That's a wild damage. I never see that. Ooh, very nice, very nice. Getting that early door before the hole caught up to him. He's gonna do a little jump. Louis does this different than most people. He's bouncing off of the boo laser there while keeping his flower. I think Umar will typically take a damage boost in room 2, so I'm excited to see what he does, because he is small right now, so his two options are to do the strat Louis just did, or grab himself a mushroom and do the standard strat. I want to know which he does. He does the mushroom. That's interesting. That way he can do the damn... Oh, he's forced now to do Louis' strat. Thank goodness he got up there. That can be a weird strat, because if you hold left before you make the bounce, you just die.
Yeah, there's something to be said about sticking to the strategies you know that work. There's also something to be said about improvising to make up for a difference in a race like...
That's all what races come down to, is like, if things go wrong, what are your improvisational skills? Just pretend I said that word right, and let's move on.
Well, they're the racers. They're the ones that gotta do improv. We have more room to fail.
Yeah, we got nothing to do. And you know, sometimes my talking don't work so good this early in the morning. You know, it's 2:30 p.m. I just woke up.
Waking up, the real commentator curse.
So going through this room too, Louis looking really cool. While Umar's going through room 1, they're still in the same level, even after those wonky Yoshi clips that Umar had. They're only a room behind each other. This is still anyone's race. But you see what I mean about cranking up the heat just little by little. Look at the rooms they're going through compared to the ones they were going through. This is so much more intense, and it's only going to get worse next level and every other level from here on out.
Yeah, Louis has been picture perfect so far, but he must maintain that to the end of this race to keep this lead.
He has to. He has to. You cannot give Umar an inch, man. Because he's fighting for it. Alright, going into Wendy's Castle, I want you guys to pay close attention to Louis' screen, because this is going to be some crazy stuff you're about to see. You don't have a cape, so you can't rely on cape cancels. You're going to jump over those saws. Wow, he didn't take damage until the crusher. Typically, you'll see damage on the Potaboo, on the saw, something like that. But he was able to get through with flour all the way to the very end of that crusher skip. That's pretty impressive. So that
no one makes Louis bleed his own blood.
Yeah. Now going through room 2, you can see him do that little delay that Louis just did. That's just so all these floors and moving platforms are going to line up for him perfectly. Because watch, he's just going to haul. Just straight P-speed all the way to the windy fight now. Umar getting that cycle skip as well. He needs 3 hits here. No fireballs to take out Windy. Very nice, he's out. He's going for the Windy clip, maybe? Almost. So what you try to do, it's the coolest swag you can kind of do in this run. Right when the cutscene's happening, you just jump at the wall and hope you get a wall clip right when it fades out, and it just sticks you to the wall.
Oh, Umar just getting Wendy right in the back. What a dishonorable coward. She wasn't even looking at him.
Yep, nah, you can't sucker punch.
But you know what? This is a race. You gotta do what you gotta do to win.
Do what you gotta do. So he's a cutscene behind. We're getting low on levels, so he needs Louis to mess up. We're at this point now where he needs that to happen now. But now we kind of have a break. Nothing's really going to change standings-wise. They're not going to be going fast. This is Sunken Ghost Ship. And it's kind of the gatekeeper to the Valley of Bowser. What they're really hoping for here is at the end of this room, there's 2 boo rings that are typically there. And if you go fast enough, and possibly if you're in the right place, you can despawn 1 or both of those boo rings. Louis is looking good for at least a single. Yeah, he's gonna get the single. Wow.
He doesn't.
Did he slow down on that second portion or something? What was that? Because he was totally lined up going through the tunnel to get it, but by the time he reached it, that boo cloud hadn't been on screen for so long, there was no way he was gonna get it. That's wild.
I think he might have been distracted. I think he had 3 very special letters on his mind.
Oh man, it's the same 3 letters we all have on our mind. You guys say it with me.
Orb. And once again, the Cave of Wonders opens up. Louis is about to go in and get that magic lamp and free Robin Williams. Or am I thinking of something else?
No, it's this one. Yeah. Umar grabbing his orb as well. I'm telling you, one of these days, chat's gonna be over that, and I can't wait.
That'll never happen. Memes never age.
So Louis going through a Valley of Bowser 1. It's really nice when you're small, because look at how you can just like squeeze into tight little spots, go above these moles.
I don't like the way that Monty Mole smiles at you before he's about to kill you.
Yeah, he's real smug. He's real smug-like. Big old chonky mole. So Umar's going through Valley of Bowser 1 right behind Louis, who is currently in Valley of Bowser 2. Check this out though, he's got moving platforms, those disco shells, Koopas, and hurt bats coming at him. Made it through that first room just fine. Hey, nice Yoshi wings. We don't care about that though. We care about one thing right now, and that's sandbar clip. Is Louis gonna go for it, and will he succeed? He slid out of it. Hard to tell if he went for it or not, but I can see from his Mario ducking, typically that's the player saying, like, I went for it and didn't get it. So I'm just going to assume that Louis did go for that sandbar clip, which maybe we'll see from Umar. If Umar can get the sandbar clip, this could be a massive, massive deal. So watch Umar's screen carefully. He's going to run here, and as soon as it's about to crush him, duck, and he did not get it either. It's hard to tell if he went for that or not, too, because there was no spin jump. He was just sliding. But he's also ducking angrily, so... yeah, that really hurts his chances.
I'd do that same duck if they run out of salt and vinegar chips at the grocery store.
Yeah, if only I could clip through that floor. Just get out of there. Alright, Louis made his way out. He's on to the Valley Fort, which is a super tough fortress. I mean, look at what Louis is going to have to deal with here. He does a little pause while he's scrolling to kind of keep these guys where he wants them. He's able to just jump through without getting crushed. Gotta go over those enemies and under those spikes. But here's where the real challenge is. Look at how many crushers there are. Look at him managing his P speed by running back and forth, keeping that P meter up, right? You gotta get past these, bounce on these potaboos, and guess what? Just sprinkle some more crushers in there. So he's gonna kill his P speed right here. Oh my goodness! He did not kill his P speed. That was so risky. He was going for a full P speed strat in a race. Oh my god! Holy cow, Louis!
And look, I mean, we're focusing on Louis, but look at how much time Umari0 has made up. He's much closer than he was a few minutes.
Dude, he's right behind him. Wow, I'm still just blown away by Louis' fort. That was amazing. He's now in a dark room. It was a pretty easy room because, you know, you do it in almost every category. So people know it. It's going to move him on over to the Bowser fight.
Don't be fooled by that pleasant smiley face on that clown helicopter. There's a very angry turtle inside of it.
You know, interestingly enough, that clown car, all electric. While Bowser, you know, really doesn't like the denizens and citizens of Dinosaur Land, he really does care about his impact on the environment.
Well, he's trying to preserve the planet for his Koopa kids.
That's beautiful, thinking of the future. This Bowser fight's pretty, like, typical. You're not... Hopefully at this level, you're not gonna really see any mistakes. He's now going to be going for a little trick called ball skip here, and he's going to do that by just leaving that Mecha Koopa out to dry there next to him. And you see this Mecha Koopa start coming back to life right now. Bowser's going to stop, and then he's going to drop one of his 2 balls. But if you can drag him over to the right side and time it perfectly, just as Louis did, he's not going to drop his second ball. Once again, you can see these Mecha Koopas. They work on wind-up. Completely zero-emission Mecha Koopas. That's incredible. Incredible technology went into those.
Well, that's why the Mushroom Kingdom wants Koopa dead. I mean, perpetual energy like that would just destroy their automotive industry.
Oh, absolutely. Man, the amount of oil that they pump out of Chocolate Island is absolutely insane. They got to keep that industry alive.
I mean, it's why the Yoshi's went extinct.
Louis going for his 6th and final hit right now. Just going to throw that up. He missed his shot. He went for a really quick kill, though. And there you have it. He's going to finish up with somewhere around a 3503, probably a 3504 because of the timer discrepancy at the beginning. But you guys get out some big old GGs for him. Umar coming in so close. Look at this. He's getting his 6th hit in right now. He's seconds behind. Seconds behind. Finishing up that 35-26. Those are 2 insanely hot runs.
You really couldn't ask for a better race.
Yeah, so you guys throw out some big GGs for Umar. I want to see a bunch of hearts in chat for Umar too. Because unfortunately that does mean he's going to be knocked out of this tournament here by Louis. Louis will be moving on to round 3. I don't believe he has an opponent now on that. No, doesn't look like it. Oh, yes he does actually. It's Fitz. Ooh, it's gonna be a Louis Fitz matchup. So big GGs to both of these runners.
Hopefully, we had some new people in chat today who actually got to see one of these races for the first time, because that would be a hell of an entry into this.
All right, and we've got neither one of our runners are going to be doing interviews, so I'm just going to tell you about some races we have coming up. Now, let's see, we have a race. It's a long time from now. I'm looking at it now. I'm trying to calculate when that would be. How many days is that? 19, 20 minutes. It'll be 20 minutes from now. Maybe even earlier if we can get these runners in quick. So hopefully we'll have this dope back-to-back for y'all. This one's coming up is going to be Stin versus iDabs. And if you know both or either of these runners, you know this is going to be a super hot race like you just saw today.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, Dabs is actually able to beat Louie in an earlier round of the tournament.
Dabs has been on a hot streak lately, so it'll be exciting to watch him go up against one of the best we have to offer. All right, and you guys also make sure I'm going to throw in this command in chat. You guys also make sure to follow the bracket. Follow these runners. We're coming down to the wire on the people we have left in this tournament, so it's going to get so exciting from here. This is my favorite part of tournaments.
We've gone through the potatoes. We're at the meat now.
Nice meat, good quality meat, like some good ham and chocolate sandwich. So yeah, I guess we'll just have another race here in a bit, and we'll see y'all then. So stay tuned for more.